Hey guys, this video will be on contours or bronzers for dark skin girls or that are dark skin girl friendly. We know how difficult it is to get a good bronzer or contour for our skin, child. So if you want some more of that information on what I use, tune in. So I'll begin with contours or bronzers that I actually made for their purpose, because I have a few variations of what I use. So I'll actually start with those that are actually made for that purpose of contouring or bronzing. And I really don't contour a lot. I bronze and then I just make the bronzing fall into the contour definition, if you will, because I just think that contouring is not made for everybody all the time. And honestly, sometimes you can be a bit too harsh with the contouring, and I just like a soft look most of the time. Even when I'm going out, I just like to look bronzed, and so I don't contour too often. I do have contour products which are cream, which is another beast. So I have some of those, but I would share them in another video since I don't really use them too often. So let's get started. So the first one I'll share today is the Fenty Beauty Instant Warm Bronzer, and this is the shade in Mocha Mommy. And I use this, honestly, I use it to bronze up a little. This is what it looks like. Now it's very, very warm. I'm not even sure if you guys can see it because the light kind of drowns it out, but I use it to bronze just a little bit, and then mostly I use it for blush, and then it just kind of melts in as blush bronzer. But if I want a nice bronze sun-kissed look, I will use this, and it works really, really well. And so not really too much for bronzing all over the face, but just bronzing up the cheeks area and just bringing it up into the blush area. It's so pretty. So I recommend this one. But if you don't like warm and you like cool things, I don't think this one is for you. You can check to see the other shades that she has. I know she has other shades. I didn't personally like them, but maybe you will. The second one is the Becca Multitasking Perfecting Powder in Deep Bronze, and I really don't know if they still sell this. I just know it was in stores, and I really loved it, and I picked it up because, listen, when I saw this shade right here, do you see how dark this is? When I saw this shade right here, I was like, it's done, it's done. I'm getting this, because it's really hard to find deep shades for our skin tone, and so I just picked this up immediately when I saw it. And I should swatch it, honestly. You see how deep that is? It's not even picking up. The camera is making it look cooler than it actually is. It's actually deep. You see that? Ooh! So that's the Becca. You know what? Let me go back and swatch the Fenty. So this is Mocha Mommy. And so this is Mocha Mommy. And so you see how warm that is compared to the Becca? Deep. Now the third one I will show is the Becca Perfect Skin Mineral Powder Foundation, and it's in the shade Cocoa. Now this one, I'm not sure if it's in stores. I know I picked it up at Marshall's, and you all know when stuff go to Marshall's, Ross, Burlington, TJ Maxx, it's a dead end for them. Like it's not, they're not bringing it back. But that's why I got it. I get some really good stuff in there sometimes, and so as soon as I saw Becca, I was like, what? And so I just grabbed this off the shelf so quick with the swiftness. And so this is what it looks like, and it's really deep, and it's kind of comparable to the other Becca. Oh my goodness, look at how deep the camera's not picking it up, but it's so deep. And let me swatch it next to its sister, and you guys see how deep that is compared to the Fenty bronzer. And parallel, legendary. The next one I will show is a bronzer that's It's that I think that thing was so popular a few years ago. I know when I was still like just looking at makeup artists on YouTube, they always use that thing and it was always sold out wherever I went, and now nobody talks about it, and I'm just like sitting in a corner still using it sometimes. But it's the CoverGirl bronzer in ebony bronze, and this is what it looks like. And it's not as deep as the Becca's, but it's still good enough to give you a nice bronze, and it's not as light as Mocha Mami. Let me just swatch it for you guys. It's not as light as Mocha Mami, but it's not as dark as the Becca's. But let me just swatch it for you guys, and this is what it looks like. And so this is it right here. See, you don't even see it because it's really sheer, and honestly that's what a bronzer is supposed to do. It's not supposed to give you this pack of color, because you don't want to look muddy at the end of the day. So it's really nice and sheer. If you build it up, you will see the effect that it gives, but it's a good bronzer. Nobody talks about it anymore, but I still love it. I still love it. I'm still in love with it. The next product I'll talk about is a powder that I use. Like I said, we have to get creative with how we're gonna find bronzers for our skin tones, because it's like very rare we'll get a good one. So this is one that I use, and it's the L'Oreal Lasting Matte Finish powder, and it's in the shade 50M601. Does it have another name? No, I think that's the only name. But yeah, but that's the shade of it, and it's just a deeper powder foundation. And so if you find a deeper powder foundation that's in your that's a few shades darker than your skin tone, then it will work good as a bronzer for you, or maybe a contour if you go darker, even darker. And let me swatch it. And so you see it swatches lighter, but honestly if you're going for a really natural look and you're not trying to do too much, then this will work for my skin tone, my personal skin tone. But according to your skin tone, you could adjust powder colors, go a little lighter, a little darker. Now the last thing is eyeshadows. If you have eyeshadows that work for you, that are your color, just use it. Eyeshadows is one of the ways that I started using contour shades, because I really didn't have the money to actually go and buy entire compacts of contour for something that I will barely be using. And so I just got creative and just started using my powders, my eyeshadow powders, and it worked out great. And guess what, I still do it even today. I think in my first tutorial I used a brow powder. And so honestly, powders work amazing for contour and bronzer if you don't have actual compacts of full bronzer. Some of them even work a little bit better. And so these are some that I use sometimes, or I used in the past before I actually got compacts of bronzer and contour. But this one is from the LORAL Pro palette, and it's in the color Espresso. And you see how nice and chocolatey and deep that color is. It will give you a really nice contour. And the next one I use is by the Saharan 2 in the Juvia's Place palette, and is this shade, what is this, Fez is this brown shade right here. So if you have this palette and your skin tone is a nice a brown color that's not too deep, then you could use this as a bronzer or even a contour if you're a little bit lighter. I can use it as a contour, but a bronzer, it will work fine. The next palette is the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette, and I use this shade in here called Cypress. Oh, let me flip the mirror. This shade right here. And the shade is called Cypress Umber, and it gives me a really nice contour when I don't feel like using my other contours. it gets the job done. It's a little bit more cool than say for example the Fenty, but it still gets the job done nonetheless. So if you like a cool tone and you don't have a compact, you can use this one if you have the palette. The very last one that I will introduce is it's a brow powder. But honestly guys, hear me out. As long as it's a powder, I don't care what they say it's for. If the chemicals are too harsh where it can go on your eyes, then that's a different story. If it can go on your eyes, fine. But anywhere else on the face, if it's a powder, it's fair game. And so this is the Anastasia Brow Duo Brow Powder in Ebony, and this is what it looks like. And let me swatch it. So it has two sides. Let me swatch the first side. Look at that. This is the first side. Now I'm doing the second side. Even darker, okay? Even darker. So if you have dark skin, like I don't know, like a Lupita Nyong'o skin tone that's very beautiful and deep and just, oh, listen, a brow powder, a eyeshadow that's really deep brown to the point where it's almost black, it can work for you. And so as long as it's a powder and it's not supposed to go in my eyes, everything is fair game. Listen, makeup is it's made to be art. You know, you're supposed to create art with it, and so just be an artist with it and just use things that, you know, even though they call it a bronzer, you don't have to use it to bronze. Even though they call it an eyeshadow, I use some of my powders for eyeshadows, eyeshadows for powders, lipstick for eyeshadow. Sometimes if the lipstick has a little bit of glitter, I go on top of my lids with it. It's art, so you're free to do whatever you want to do with it. There's no rules. And so these are the things that I use to bronze my skin. I know sometimes dark girls, we have it difficult. So hopefully with the evolution of makeup and the evolution of the beauty industry, we'll be able to get some more shades in, because whew, it's been a journey. But that's it for the video today, guys. Tell me what bronzers that you use, what contours that you use, if there's anything that you know that I should be trying, because I'm also looking for more stuff. So let me know if there's anything that I should be trying out there for my skin tone that also works for you, and let me know how you like the video, and let me know if it helped. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please like and please comment if you would like, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.